Hello everyone, this is your favorite Murtad live once again, and today we have a very interesting topic. Thanks to Mr. Mimi Hijab, he always gives us nice things. I just stumbled upon this video and I thought it's good to have a little bit of a discussion on it. So, but like before going into this video, I have a rebuttal which was given to me by one of our subscriber about a guy who responded back on the video that we shared yesterday about the slavery. So I'm gonna go into that one first. Just just let me take like 5 minutes and let's look at this rebuttal. And then after that, I'm gonna go straight into my topic of today. But it is very important that I should actually share this with all of you as well. Hey, June Tukubir, Takbir, basically. I think that's maybe an Indonesian way of saying Takbir. So it's Takbir. Yeah. Carolina, Salam Aran, thank you so very much, all. So, refutation on slavery. So, yesterday I showed approximately 20 ahadith. I can't even remember how many I showed, approximately, give or take. And maybe 5, 6 verses from Quran. And this is what the Islamic scholar has to come back and say about it. This is what he has to come back and say about it. It's beautiful how they refute. It's lovely. You're going to enjoy it. Hi, boobs run to you. Welcome everyone. So you're going to enjoy it and let's laugh together before I go into my current today's topic. This is Sam Singh. We'll just debunk this one and show the ignorance of the speaker. Ignorance of the speaker in the video and the one who posted it. Okay, so he's using one of the hadiths. Which one? Jabir, Allah be pleased with him, reported, there came a slave and pledged allegiance to Allah's apostle on migration. He, the holy prophet, did not know that he was a slave. Okay, doesn't matter. Does it matter? No. Then there came his master and demanded him back, whereupon Allah Apostle said, what did Allah Apostle said? Now, here is what you need to see very importantly. What did he said? Sell him to me. Okay, that's what Allah Apostle said. Sell him to me. But how did Allah Apostle buy this slave? He bought him for 2 black slaves. What did he pay to buy the slave? He paid the person 2 black slaves. And if you remember my video yesterday, what was my response? If Muhammad wanted to abolish slavery, what could he have given? He could have given him gold. He could have given him dinar. He could have given him anything else. Camels, sheep, anything. But what did he pay him? He paid him 2 black slaves. Okay. Now the refutation is, look at the refutation. The hadith has nothing to do with racism or slavery. Basically, a slave embraced Islam and pledged immigration. What? These guys, I think when they are watching my video, they don't even turn the volume on. They just turn off the volume, and then just see what is the hadith. Out of 20 different Sahih hadiths, he had the problem with this one where Muhammad is actually trading slaves. He is not even keeping a slave. He is doing slave trading. What does slave trading means? You buy one slave for some other slaves. Okay, yes, slave trading also means that you buy a slave for gold and money or etc. But he gave 2 of his slaves to buy one of that slave. And he said this hadith has nothing to do with slavery. Man, Anyhow, it's been almost 2 hours. I told the guy, this is our subscriber as well, very nice guy. I told him to ask him to come up live. It's been almost 2 hours. He reported to me after 9 minutes. Now it's been almost 2 hours or 2 hours plus. This guy has not responded back to him, and I'm still waiting. I want to see what kind of a rebuttal this guy, this so-called very logical, intelligent, intellectual guy has to come up and say about it. Dude, it doesn't matter whether man, I don't know whether I should laugh or cry on this answer. I don't know whether I should laugh or cry on this answer because, like, man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay. Anyhow, my invitation stands for him so that he could come up and Sam Singh could explain it us to us how this hadith does not describes slave trading or giving slaves. And he actually gave away two black slaves. It was explicit. When hadith is talking about buying the slave who actually pledged allegiance, that slave was not mentioned as black slave. Whereas the slave that he gave to buy that slave are explicitly mentioned as black slaves. So can we actually assume that the slave that he bought was not black, right? But that's an assumption. Once again, did he actually give away two black slaves? Yes, that's what hadith says. So that's how it is. Hello everyone, Indian apologist Dragona Daenerys. I love your name, by the way, seriously. Mother of dragons, right? Alright guys, so now after this one, let's go to our today's topic. And today's topic is about our beloved Mr. Mimi Hijab. So probably you guys have not heard about this hadith. You guys must have heard about the hadith where the sun sets in muddy water. But this is the most basic refutation of Muslims when we show them that the sun sets in muddy water because they say it is as if. And they bring up this hadith. So today we are going to enjoy this hadith from the mouth of Mimi Hijab. And then we are going to work on it. This is Spence Institute or whatever. So Mimi Hijab, please tell us the hadith and explain the hadith a little bit before we go into this. Momo dumpling. Well, that by the way, doesn't it he looks like when he will move his head down to read, you might be able to see some broom over here.
Read the hadith in question and move on to what the specific contentions are. So the hadith is narrated by Abu Dharr al-Ghifari. May Allah be pleased with him. And he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, do you know where the sun set? Do you know where it goes? I said, Abu Dharr says,
okay, you see his deception? He first used the right word. Where does the sun set? First he used the right word and then he changed the word. Let me show you. Let me show you. He then changed the word according to what it is written in the English translation. But this guy has actually written the Quranic translation. This guy knows Arabic. So Prophet asked me at the sunset, do you know where the sun goes? He used that. But initially he said where the sun set. You know why he said where the sun set? Because it says in Arabic, Gharabat Shams. Gharabat Shams means Gharoob of Shams. And the Indian apologist can know very well because he might know Hindi, Urdu, The same word is used as gharub in that language. Gharabat shams. Where does the sun sets? The Arabic, it says where does the sun sets, not where does the sun goes. But because he has to give the refutation later and talk about going, he is going to use that word. So somehow, even at the start, he actually exposed himself. So let's go to him again. Let's go to him again. Let's see what else our great scholar has to tell. So let's read again, watch again a little, so that we would know what how he going to change it.
Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, may Allah be pleased with him. And he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, do you know where the sun set?
Sun sets. Now look how he's going to change it.
Do you know where it goes? I said, Abu Dharr says, Allah and His Messenger know best. He said, it goes and prostrates beneath the throne. Then it asks for permission to rise, and permission is given to it.
Okay. So you see multiple problems over here. Number one, where does the sun sets? Okay, let's take his narrative. Goes. So the so the sun somehow goes and prostrates under the throne of Allah. It gives the sajda. Okay, it gives sajda under the throne of Allah. That's number one.
Soon it will prostrate and it will ask for permission to rise, but permission will not be given to it.
And then he ate a couple of parts of the verse of the hadith. I'm going to show you the hadith now. Let him finish.
It will be said to it, go back to where you came from.
Go back to it. Look at how he explains it. Go back to where he came from, right? Am I mute or not? No, no, I'm not mute. Thank God. Go back to where you came from. Amazing.
So it will rise from its place of setting. And
so it will rise from this.
That is what Allah, may Allah be glorified, may He be glorified, refers to in the verse. And the sun.
Okay, so let's look at the hadith now, so that we would know the full context of the hadith before we actually go in to his refutation. Enjoy, guys. Do you know where the sun sets? At the time of sunset. So that is why they put it in the brackets at the time of sunset. Okay, because Prophet asked me at sunset. So right now what is happening is Abu Dhahr is with the Prophet of Islam. The sunset is happening. They are looking at the sunset, right? That's the background, right? Abu Dhahr is narrating it while the sun is setting. Okay, and Prophet, he's like the great leader, right? He can't stop his mouth. He has to say something. He's like, do you know, Abu Dhahr, where the sun sets? I replied, Allah and his apostle knows better. Obviously, how would that guy, 7th century Arabia guy, Abu Dhahr, can answer? He said, it goes till it prostrates itself under the throne and takes the permission to rise again. So, what is happening over here? Two things are happening. First, Allah Messenger is saying that it goes, and then it does what? It does what? It prostrates. It prostrates under the Takhtul Arsh, under the throne of Allah. Okay, and it is permitted. So every time it goes to the throne of Allah, it is permitted to rise again. So every time it goes, it is permitted to rise again. Okay, but one time, okay, and then it will be about to prostrate itself, but its prostrations will not be accepted. You, guys, try to understand this. Try to understand this. Every time when he prostrates, by the way, let's fix the goes as well. Okay, before we go further, let's fix the goes. Like I showed you, it's saying what? It's saying gharub, right? Gharabat. Gharabat is setting. Gharabat shams. Gharabat Shams is setting. Now we have the same verse where it says, it goes till it prostrates itself under the throne. Let's read that. Now here it is goes, okay? So you wanna see goes? فَإِنْهَا تَذْهَبْ تَذْهَبُ تَذْهَبُ حَتَّى تُسْجُدُ. It goes hatta until it does the sajda till takhtul arsh. Okay, so now you see here where you see goes, where it goes. Okay, so the difference, gharabat sunset, tazhab goes, hatta until it gives sajda under the under the throne of Allah. Now, so that one part is debunked. Now, and it is given permission. So every time it gives and prostrate, the permission is given. And but one time, a time will come. One time it will be about to prostrate itself, but the prostration will not be accepted. Okay, so Allah, like I said before, maybe some people have had my previous videos, they were part of it. When a Muslim offer prayers and gives sajud, the first prayer usually the Muslims pray right after the salah, the 5 compulsory prayers. The first prayer that they pray is, "Oh Allah, accept this salah." Literally speaking, this is the first prayer that they pray right after the prayer. "Oh Allah, accept this prayer, accept my sajud, accept my prostration to you." Because Allah said, the different ahadiths are there, that the Allah might not like your prostration and he will throw the prostration or the salah back at your face. So hence, Muslimin, including me, when I finish my prayer, my first salah, my first dua is, "Oh Allah, accept my prayer." So that's what happening. The sun is prostrating to Allah. Every time it gets a permission that he can rise again, but at one time he will not be given the permission, and it will be asked permission to go its course, but it will not be permitted, but it will be ordered to return wherence it comes, and so it will rise in the west. See see this is how derogatory, wrong, silly it is. And Mimi Hijab is explaining this by eating certain parts of it, by eating certain parts of it, by changing certain words of it. Goes, will not be accepted, return where you come from, and all that. So even by reading the hadith, he did not do the justice. He did not do the justice, rather he went into deception. Now, you have seen this. Let's see his rebuttal, and then we will come back here again. Yes, and some people I saw saying spring of muddy water. We'll go there. Don't worry. Let's look at his refutation first. So guys, are you guys with me so far? You have seen the hadith perfectly, right? Now look his explanation.
Runs on its fixed course for a term appointed. And that is a decree of the mighty, the all-knowing. He's mentioning, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is mentioning an ayah, Surah Yasin, chapter 36, verse number 38. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا. That the sun runs on a fixed term decreed. So let's talk about what the contentions are. The contentions, really, you could say, are 3 in number. Three main contentions. The first one relates to this prostration of the sun. What do we understand from this hadith when we talk about the prostration of the sun? Is it to be suggested that this is an anthropomorphic or a personified picture of the celestial sphere that is the sun? And isn't this more in line with mythology and ancient legend than it is with the scientific contemporaneous reality that we know from examination? And from
Yeah, give like 5 4 more complex words because we will know that you are a well-educated man.
advances in science, that's number one. The second thing is about
What? Okay. Okay.
the going. How could the sun be going
It's not even going. It's prostrating when it sets.
underneath the throne? And this shows, they say, the fact that the sun is going somewhere in sunset, that it's confirming, they say, the geocentric picture. Thirdly, they say that
Exactly. It shows the geocentric position. Okay. Now, prostration is pretty silly, but maybe I can let that go. Maybe I can let that go. But still, I will not let that go. Uh, Let me show you something. This is called flight maps. And I took a flight map from LAX to LIS. This was a random selected map. I don't know the uh, uh, airport names. So if you click this, the plus sign, you can select a random map. So right now, here you can see this part, the black part over here is all dark. It's night. Okay, and what is going to happen is that when we move the slider, we will see that the sun is just moving, not the sun moving. In this picture, it is moving, and there is sun always at some part of the world. Sun never sets eventually. It sets in a particular location for a particular location, but it goes nowhere. When is sun prostrating under the throne of Allah and asking the permission to rise again? You tell me that. Now I know most of the people already know this part, like almost all of you know this part, but this is just to show how it was in the 7th century Arabia that they did not know Jack and he had to tell his people. Sun does not go anywhere. It is always there. Let's select another random map. Show me another random map. Okay. Okay, this is not going from ORD to LHR. I don't know where these two are, but these are two more airports. Once again, you see this. Why is it like only going to the Europe from America? Why can't it go somewhere else? Let's see another one. Maybe we can see some Asian area. A random map. Okay. Oh, maybe because it's 8 hours. Let's say 12 hours long flight. Okay. Still, whatever. So, anyhow, this is just a demonstration that you will see the sun. So, sun cannot prostrate anytime. Sun cannot ask permission. Sun cannot do anything. And Salam is saying ORD is O'Hare Airport in Chicago. Thank you so very much, Salam. Nice. That's I might forget that part. So JFK, I know what it is. It's the airport in New York, the most important one. LHR, somewhere in Europe. All right. So going back to our topic, this was just a demonstration of how he didn't know Jack. Muhammad didn't know anything what he was talking about, but he had to state something. And the 8th century Arabian, 7th century Arabian people, they were like, yeah, thank you. You told us something. You told us something good. And by the way, this is the best refutation people have against the sun setting in muddy water. But let's go and check what else he has to say.
time of sunset. So why is it that the time of sunset is in any way significant? Knowing that sunset is at different times at different points of the round earth.
Sunset is different times and different point of around Earth. Yes. At the same time, in reality, sun is never setting. Muhammad was supposed to say, sun never sets. It sets here, but it is somewhere else. This should be the answer. If he is literally asking Abu Dhar to tell me where the sun sets, Muhammad should know that Abu Dhahr is a 7th century Arabian guy, and I have to tell him. So Muhammad should have said, sun never even sets. He sets here, but sun is somewhere else. That should be the answer. But that's what he said. That's what Mimi Hijab said, right? That's what Muhammad should supposed to say. But look,
I know there may be some flat earthers listening to this, and as I've said, Quran, we'll be discussing those verses of the Quran which people try to use to refer to geocentrism in an
now he's going into flat earth people. Doesn't matter.
entirely
Let's
different
go
video.
forward.
So this verse shows that
Let's go forward.
ولكن لا تفقهون تسبيحهم. In other words, the sun and the moon and all the universe, it has a way of. So science does not tap into this.
So science does not tap into this, but we have to tap into science because Muslims are claiming, his party is claiming that Quran is scientific miracle. And that is why science has to be brought up. Now he's going to bring up the verse of Quran which says everything do the sujood to Allah. Duh, that's another scientific issue. But once again, we are not supposed to go into that.
And it has nothing to do with science. In fact, the Quran explicitly says, which is distinctly different, is nothing but going against the Quran and a misunderstanding of the entirety of the Quran.
Right.
So the prostration, a species difference,
Okay.
stationary action from the human actor. In fact, with different species, different animals, different inanimate objects, different spheres, the prostration does not in any way need to be correlated with such human prostration. It's not like the sun is growing arms and a forehead and is throwing itself on the floor. This is not the understanding. In fact, the Quran refutes this understanding very categorically. So this very
Where it refutes it, that's what he will not say.
literal, it's not even literal, it's a literalistic reading of the Quran and the Hadith is the first point. Is the first point of confusion for those individuals who try and ask about the prostration. So clearly here, the prostration is referring to something which is metaphysical and untappable by the scientific method. And one can say that, the
Okay. Two problems here, guys. Try to understand these two problems. If it is metaphorical, then it should be in a metaphorical time that sun is always prostrating. It shouldn't be at the time of sunset. You need to understand this very important fact, because Quran does talk about it, that all the things, because when Allah created the heavens and the earth, it says to heaven, come willingly or not willingly, and earth said, okay, I come willingly, etc., 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 yada yada yada. Not the right time for me to bring up that verse, but yes, that's what it's saying. Everything except Allah, etc., etc., etc. That's what Quran is saying. All these objects, trees, and everything. But that's not the point. It is specific that at the time of sunset, sun goes and prostrates under the throne of Allah. That is the problem. If the hadith says that sun is always prostrating under the throne of Allah, because there is sunset anywhere in the world at any specific time. There is sunset everywhere at one specific time. But Muhammad is explicitly saying to a person at a geolocation, asking him, where does the sun sets? Like, I don't know how these Muslims actually listen to this broomhead for hours. It's unbelievable. And they accept his so-called arguments, which has no meaning whatsoever. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like, man, it's just crazy. I can't listen to these guys, but like,
prostration, not just the prostration, but the submission of the
yeah, but the submission, so it should be every time, right? Why is Muhammad saying at the time of sunset? And now he's going to go into this tangent. Let's see.
sun, the istislam and the sujood of the sun is expected, since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about that the heavens and the earth will obey Allah طوعا أو كرها, willingly or unwillingly. Now,
So now he brought up the same verse that I was mentioning, right? So Mimi Hijab, dude, we both know the Quran similar, man. Come on.
in other words, they're obeying the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Exactly. Dude, laws and prostration are entirely two different things. Okay. When he said about the laws, fair enough. Laws of physics, there is no law of physics, it's all Allah. Allah is holding the arsh, the heaven, the sky, so that it will not fall on the earth without the pillars. So yeah, these are the verses in Quran as well. But forget that. That's not the topic.
Now, some individuals will say, so why does the hadith say that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that the sun is going somewhere or to an appointed destination in the first place? Now, I want you guys to understand in the Arabic language, there's two things, something called dharf zaman and dharf makan. That basically,
Wow, very important. Read, listen.
when you're referring to destinations, there are two types of destination, time bound ones and place bound ones.
Time bound and place bound. So you know what he's going to do? He is going to mix both of them in this verse. So in this hadith, there are two time two things mentioned: time bound and place bound. Both are mentioned, but he's going to mix them into one because sun goes every night at the time of sunset, prostrate under the throne of Allah, ask for the permission to rise again. The permission is granted, but then before the day of judgment, it will not be granted the permission. Now he is going to mix both of them. Look how he's going to mix them.
As we'll come to know with this particular hadith and the ayah in which links with this particular hadith, which the Prophet ﷺ mentioned itself. The sun, we know from tafsir, is going towards the day of judgment.
Where is sun going? Towards the day of judgment. Everything is going towards the day of judgment. I am going towards the day of judgment. You are going to go towards the day of. Everyone is going towards the day of judgment because that's a time bound thing, right? It has nothing to do with me at this point in time where I am going at this location, right? He's going to mix both of them.
And this is the tafsir of chapter 36, number 38, where it says, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا, that the sun is running to a destination. What
Destination. Okay, we'll look into that verse as well.
destination is it? Is it a time-bound destination or is it a place-bound destination? So the exegetes of Islam, the medieval exegetes, are talking about the end of days. So this is eschatological in nature. It's not talking about a particular place where in which it is going, whether those who espouse the scientific miracles narrative say it's the solar apex, and those who want to talk about the the scientific errors narrative are going to say it's beneath the earth, both of which are not indicated by the primary text. And what's the evidence of this?
Okay. Because I am showing him and not the hadith again, I need to go back to hadith to show you what's happening. There are two things over here. It goes till it prostrates under the throne of Allah. Number one, that's happening every day. And it takes the permission to rise again, and it is permitted. So now see, that's the part that he misses when he's actually saying it as well in the hadith. He's not even saying this in hadith. Okay. Then a time will come. Now this is about the day of judgment. It will be about to prostrate itself, but its prostration will not be accepted, and it will ask permission to go its course, but it will not be permitted. Now see, that is the problem. That is the time when the permission is not granted. So with the later part, it's saying it will rise in the west, and its interpretation of the statement of Allah. Now that last part is in 36-38. I can accept that. What about the daily ones? What about the daily ones? He can't explain the daily ones. Yes, he cannot explain the daily ones. And that's where the problem lies. So Mimi Hijab, thank you so much. I think that's all about it. The rest it is goes into left, right, and center. Probably I don't care right now. Otherwise, it's going to waste a lot of our times. Mimi Hijab, broomhead guy, but that's all what he can do. Let's look at the Islam Web fatwas. Okay, this is islamweb.net. Postration of the sun before its Lord. Fatwa number 253912. And we will all laugh. Let me just share the link to everyone so whoever wants to laugh later. Any Muslim in my channel who wants to come up and explain that, more than welcome. Let me just know and I will invite you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please explain these ahadith and the meaning of the sun setting in the spring of muddy water and the hadith of sun setting under the throne of Allah. I'm not going to read all of it, so he's just giving both of the hadiths. There is a hadith about the sun going into the muddy water as well, which is according to the Quran as well. All the perfect praises to Allah, the Lord of the world, I testify, etc., 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 etc. These are 2 points. First point, the setting of the sun in the spring of muddy water. Before talking about the meaning of this statement, we must establish a fact. Now, because he's writing at what time? 35/5 2014. So he knows the earth is not flat. So that is why he's saying establish a fact that the sun does not set at a specific tangible place. Ha ha! Voila! Dude, what is written? You tell us that. Ah, okay, let's see what is written. In his interpretation of the story of Dulkarnain, and the verse in which Allah says, until when he reached the setting of the sun. Where does he reach? He reached the setting of the sun. Otherwise, the sun is setting everywhere. Sun is setting everywhere. Why are we talking about confirming of the Bible, Dragona? Like, our topic has nothing to do with the confirming of Bible. Is somebody is actually talking about the confirmation of the Bible? Whoever he is, tell him to come up live. I'll talk with him about that right now. Don't let anybody go into different direction than our live stream is. Okay. Yeah, whoever he is, he has to come live if he needs to change the topic. Otherwise, this is the topic. Let him make him stay on that topic. Please, thank you. Until when he reached the setting of the sun, he found it. Now they have brackets here, as if. There's nothing in the Arabic which says as if. You know why it is brackets? Because it's not in Quran. It's not part of the Quran. Setting in the spring of dark mud. Quran 1886. Okay. Some scholars said what it meant is not that Dulkarnain reached the west where the sun itself set or the east where the sun itself rises because it revolves in the sky, etc. etc. So the sun much bigger than the earth. So how can it enter the place, etc. 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 But Muhammad did not know about it in the 7th century Arabia. He did not know about it. That is why this comes in. And by the way, it's not just Muhammad. Let me show you some tafsir because he is talking about the later tafsir. Let's see the earlier tafsir. Let's see some earlier tafsir. You will see where the sun sets according to the earlier tafsir. This is Tafsirul Abbas. We will go to multiple hadiths till when he reaches the setting place of the sun, where the sun sets. He found it setting in the muddy spring. What kind of a muddy spring? A blackened, muddy, and stinking spring. Wow. Did you guys catch it? That's Ibn Abbas, so called the cousin of Muhammad. And this is through Ibn Abbas, and he's talking about it. It is also said that it means a hot spring and founded people thereby. These people were disbelievers. And these people were disbelievers where the sun is setting in a blackened, muddy, stinking spring. We inspired him. Either kill them until they accept to believe that there is no deity except Allah, or you pardon them. That's it. That's the end of the tafsir of Ibn Abbas. You see what happened? The people who were with Muhammad, they did not know jack about it. This hadith is not written, this tafsir is not written by Ibn Abbas, as we know already. This tafsir is written 200, 300 years later, but it is linked to Ibn Abbas because it's through the narrations of Ibn Abbas. Nobody knows, guys. Nobody knows. But this is Ibn Abbas. Okay. So Muhammad said something, Ibn Abbas something, does not matter. Mimi Hijab is the boss. Let's look another one. Jalalain. Jalalain is writing much later. He's saying he found it setting in the muddy spring, Ainul Hamia, a spring containing Hama, which is black clay. Okay, let's go next one. Kashani. Kashani. What does Kashani say? Until when he reached the setting of the sun, that is setting of the sun of the spirit. Huh? What? Setting of the sun of the spirit? So the spirit of the sun sets. Okay. Allah doesn't have the spirit, but sun has the spirit. Allah doesn't have the spirit, but sun has the spirit. Okay, Kaifa hal. Glory is to Allah and praise to Him by the multitude of His creation, by His fire, by the weight of His throne, and by the extent of His word. Kaifa hal. What do you mean by that? What does that has to do with the sun setting in the spring of muddy water? Careful hal, whatever. He found it setting in the muddy spring, namely one that was mixed with mud, which is the corporal matter and admixture of dark bodies, similar to where he says from a drop of mixture fluid. And he found it on the fox, namely the egocentric faculties, the corporal and the spiritual. Wow. There are literally people there, man. There are people there, man. Wow. There are people there, right? And he found it in a muddy spring, namely something, one that was mixed with mud and corporal matter and admixture of dark bodies. Man! Nobody knows about this place. Only Durkanan reached that place, man. Seriously, only Durkanan is the one who reached there, man. You know, that's the beauty of Durkanan. He can go into these things and only Allah knows. Okay. We said Dulkarnain either chastised by the mean of spiritual discipline, subjugation, and bringing to death, or treat them kindly by setting them straight and fulfilling their share. Wow. You know, these egocentric, so-called corporal and spiritual people, Durkarnain either chastised them by the means of spiritual discipline or subjugating and bringing them to death. So these are your early scholars who are writing the tafsir. And Mimi Jab is saying, what? The early scholars agree with Mimi Jab? And then it goes into Ibn Kathir. When we go into Ibn Kathir is writing on the 13th century. He's writing in the 13th century. And what is he saying? Let's see what is he saying. Because he now knows that things are different. Okay. He actually said he found it setting in the spring of Himalaya. Himalaya. Wow. Good. Meaning he saw the sun as if it was setting into the ocean. Now it's not even a spring, even though it says spring. The verse says spring, but it's an ocean now. There is something which everyone who goes to the coast can see. It looks as if the sun is setting into the sea, but in fact it never leaves this path in which it is fixed. So now, because the later tafsir writers knows about it, and that is why things goes into different. Kaiful hal, do you want to be blocked? What does this has to do anything with the topic? Second warning, if you go against the topic the third time, you will be blocked. Make sure you stay on the topic. Farid, same goes to you as well. Okay. Now the 12th century scholars are actually going into a different tangent because now they know that it is different. Now they have the interpretation. Okay, guys, admins, why I am not seeing a retraction of Kaiful Hal message and give him a pause time. Okay, how do we actually see this later in this later tafasir? Things goes nicely, better. How do they become better, right? How do they become better? Because now people know things in a different way. They now know the science. They now know the science, and then they are now going in a nicer way because they know the earth is not flat. And that is why they have a different view. They have a different view, and that is why they are going into a different tangent. You see how things goes? This is the problem with a lot of them. This is the problem with a lot of them. And by the way, I think I have hmm, let me go. Let me show you something. There was a Pakistani scholar who actually was teaching on a live television, who was teaching in a live television to the kids. And he said that the sun is, you guys need to understand the sun is revolving the earth, not the earth revolves against the sun. So that's literally what he said. Let me see if I can find this guy, or maybe one of my video I played that. But anyhow, going back to our subject, there are this is how they have to remain in their narrations and changing the words of Quran, because Quran is going into a huge tangent. Quran doesn't know jack what is happening. And this is supposedly the word of Allah, which Allah wrote in the eternal tablets way before the earth and the heavens were even created. Way before the earth or the heavens were even created. Okay, now this part is done. It enters into the sector. The second point, it prostrates prostration under the throne. This was interpreted by the scholars in many ways. See, so now the interpretation of the scholars goes into many ways. Ibn Hajar said it is likely that what it means by prostration is the prostration of the angels. So now it is about the prostration of the angels that are in charge of it, or that itself prostrates, which means showing more submission and humility at that time. All the Muslimin, whoever wants to come up and explain these verses, they are more than welcome. Just let me know and I will send the link. Instead of just going into left, right, and center, stay on the topic. If you cannot stay on the topic, come up live, explain these. You are more than welcome to explain this. Okay. Prostration of the angels that are in charge of it, or that itself prostrates, meaning showing the submission to humanity. Prostration of the angels? We have read the hadith. I think we have read the hadith 2 times already. Where are the angels in the hadith? No. So they have interpretation of the ahadith as well, which is supposed to be the interpretation of the Quran. So the Quranic interpretation, which are tafsir, and then there are ahadith, which are the saying of Muhammad, which is Muhammad so-called explaining the Qurans, is there are interpretation of the ahadith as well, written much later, where the angels come into being. Okay, the most prominent opinion is that the real prostration, and we do not know how it is done. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Muhammad Saleh ibn Majid said, its prostration is real in a manner befitting the sun. You know, the prostration of the sun is real in the manner it befits the sun. But how does it falls prostrate before Allah under the throne? Only Allah knows how this prostration take place. The apparent meaning of hadith does not suggest that prostration refers to mere submission. Okay, so now this is actually refuting Mimi Hijab, who said prostration means submission to Allah. So this website, islamweb.net, is actually destroying Mimi Hijab by itself. The apparent meaning of hadith does not suggest that the prostration refers to mere submission to other of Allah and being subjugated to his obedience. Rather, it is submission, humiliation, and compliance with a real prostration. It is with a real prostration. Hey Farid, I'm reading it. I'm reading it. Your scholars are saying it's not metaphorical. Your own scholars are saying it's not metaphorical, Farid. I am not saying it. Your scholars are saying it. What gives you the authority to say anything, brother? Your scholars are saying it. I'm reading it from your website. Islamweb.net, fatwa number 253912. Brother Farid, do you care to come and explain? Do you reject all these scholars? Are you a scholar, Sheikhul Islam? Or are you, who are you to give me your opinion? Who accepts your opinion? If I want to give my opinion only, I'd never show anything. I would just show the Quran verses and destroy the Quran in one day. But I am showing your scholars' consensus and agreement. And then what did the God said? What did your Allah said? It's not God, your Allah. What did your Allah said? Your Allah said the sun sets in the muddy water. Allah did not use as if. Why don't you come up and explain what Allah did and Allah said? Because your Allah is so called great. Your Allah is so puny that he said that he cannot even guide the people who disbelieved after believing. People like me. Quran chapter number 3, verse number 86. Go read. This is your puny Allah. And you are going to tell me that your scholars do not know and you know better. Okay. So, going back to the point again. Rather, it is submission, humiliation, compliance with a real prostration. Now, sun does the prostration to Allah every day at the time of sunset. Now, tell me, when is the sunset? Are you talking about the sunset in the Arabia? Or are you talking about the sunset in the whole world? Which sunset are you talking about? But we do not know how it is done. Nobody knows that. The problem is not how the prostration is done. For me, the problem is why the prostration is happening at the time of the sunset. And then it's not just the prostration. Then sun is asking to rise again. That is the problem. The sun is asking to rise again. That is the problem. It's not just one problem, it's multiple problem. One, sun is prostrating at the time of sunset. Number two, asking permission to Allah to rise again. Number three, Allah giving the permission to rise again. All describes the geocentric thing of earth and sun and everything revolving around earth. And that's the basic thing. That was the basic thing. You know, it's forget how the prostration is happening. Whatever. Like the Muslim says, Wallahu alam. Okay, Wallahu alam, how the prostration happens. Problem is, prostration is happening at the time of sunset, but which location, which time zone sunset? Number one. Number two, sun is asking the permission from Allah to rise again. Number three, permission is given, and at the time of the day of judgment, permission will not be given, and sun will start revolving the other way. Okay. Number three, we cannot prove. Okay, we cannot prove that. Obviously, Earth might start revolving the other side. Man, seriously. But it's talking about the sun, not even the Earth. But whatever. But man, this goes beyond crazy. If you think about this for one logical sense, things goes beyond crazy, and it's just a mess up, And these scholars have to explain it, and then people like Farid have to come up and refute their own scholars, just like Mimi Hijab refuted his own scholars who were actually saying that in 2014. So Quran and its tafsir is not even done till 2020. We are in 2021 now. Wow. So Quran and its tafsir and its interpretation is not even complete till now. What is this Quran? What is this mess? It's supposed to be the guidance for the humanity. Isn't it so? If you are still doing the tafsir of this Quran now, refuting your early scholars even now, refuting what Muhammad said even now, what is the guidance that you have? Where is the guidance in it? Man, the same thing is said about the moon. Wow, wallahu alam. Trees, animals, and all the three living, but all of these living beings, except the moon, even the moon, does not prostrate at the time of sunset or moonset, right? They are always worshipping. So the apparent meaning of these does not suggest the prostration refer to mere submission, whereas for these things it is the mere submission, as each of them has its own manner of prostration that suits it. Okay. Therefore, a Muslim should not let his ignorance of how all the creation prostrate prevent him from believing in what Allah informed us about the prostration of the creation. And that's what I'm saying. How it is prostration, I can ignore that part. What we cannot ignore is, like, even though we shouldn't be ignoring it, because why a celestial object or a non living thing be prostrating to Allah, right? That's that should be a question as well. But for the sake of argument, we can let that go. But what we cannot let go is this problem, that it is setting at a specific time, prostrating at a specific time, and then asking for the permission to rise again, whereas the sun is never set, like I've shown you from a satellite. And then after giving this two paragraphs, rather 2 pages of information, the answer is Allah knows best. Wallahu alam. Wallahu alam. Who wants to come up? Who wants to come up and talk? These Muslims are so arrogant when they are texting on chat, but when you call them on the spot to come up, they are not going to come up. Why? Because they know they have no answer. They do not have answer. You will see them texting on Facebook. You will see them sending comments after the video. You will not see them coming up on the video and providing the refutation or rebuttals, because they do not have anything. They are not standing on a rock. They are standing on a in a in a mud or whatever. They don't have solid ground under their feet. They don't have answers, Daenerys. They do not have answers. That's the problem. And that is why we are doing what we are doing, because this is deception, this is darkness, this is a demonic spirit that surrounds a lot of people. They need to see that there are problems that they do not have the answers for. And Allah doesn't even guide. Allah sends astray. That's the problem. Allah sends astray. And I have done a whole video on that. Uh, Allah is the one who sends astray. And that's going to be the end of it probably, because like we went to 1886, Quran chapter number 18 verse number 86. We went into the tafsirs, we went into the hadiths. So whether the sun sets in the muddy water, whether the sun prostrates under the throne of Allah, nothing have anything to stand ground on. Okay, let me see. Do we have any? I am not real Farid. I'm just using his name because I am his fan. Dude, doesn't matter. You are a Muslim. Whichever Farid you are. You wanna come up? You were saying a lot of things. So would you like to come up and explain this? I don't care whether you are real Farid, ex Farid. I don't even know who's the real Farid. You are a Farid. That's your name. So you are Farid, you are ex Farid, you are Y Farid, you are Z Farid. You want to provide some refutation against this? Come up and provide refutation according to what is written. And now you are not good with English. All right. All right, guys. Any other question from anyone before we close this subject? Because this is the subject. A real Farid is also a chicken. And one of the guys who was not able to debate me, he put me up with Farid in Facebook Messenger. And I have shown that video way back. And no, he was not Farid, it was Ali Daba. Sorry. My bad, it was Ali Daba. And Ali Daba blocked that idiot. The guy who put me in a group Facebook chat with Ali Dawa. Ali Dawa, Aki, refute this idiot. He doesn't know. He's saying this and that and this and that and this and that. Look at it in this video. Adam, response to Adam. And Ali Dawa blocked that guy and did not respond it on the group. And that guy was saying to somebody else in another group where another friend of mine sent me a picture that the Ali Dava blocked this idiot. Man, that was a beautiful thing. That was a hey, refute Adam instead of man. I'm going to look for those pictures in my phone and I'm gonna show you guys sometime later. So sorry guys, that was like a fun thing. So anyhow, seems like nobody is here. And by the way, these are not daif guys. Somebody is saying daif, daif. I don't know why King Jesus is saying daif for whatever reason, but man, this is not daif, man. This is Sahih al Bukhari. This is Sahih. This is as Sahih as it could be. So, and and then they say Quran is a miracle. Man, Quran is a miracle of Allah. Quran is a miracle of Allah, and the sun is setting in the muddy pool. No, brother. You cannot say it is as if sun actually goes and prostrates under the throne of Allah and then asks the permission to rise again, and the permission is given, brother. Then it is given, brother. The permission is given. If the permission is not given, the sun will not rise. But guys, sun is always there at some part of the world. It is like 12 noon at some part of the world every time, every second. In every second of the day, there is 12 noon in one location of the world. It's not metaphoric. I have shown it. It's not metaphoric. I have shown it. Your scholars disagree with you, Farid. And that's why I said come up. Come up and show. Your scholars disagree with you. Go rewrite what your scholars are saying. I have given you the fatwa. Read it. Change your scholars' mentality. Get me another fatwa and then come up live. and we will talk about this so-called metaphorical BS. This is metaphorical in your brain. So guys, that is why I do not speak of my own. I show exactly what is written. I show exactly what is written instead of just saying I can make any tafsir like you guys try to make when you are giving dawa. I can make any tafsir for anything, but I cannot. I go by what is written by your own scholars. And your own scholars actually gave the location in the Himalaya where the sun is setting as well. Your early scholars said that. I showed you the tafsir. I showed you the tafsir. So do not tell me that all of your scholars are idiot. Yes, you do not agree with idiots? Perfect. Your idiot is Ibn Abbas. He said it. I showed it to you. He said it. He said it is not literal. There you go. Again, watch. So according to you then, he is idiot. Mm, thank you. Thank you for calling your early scholars idiot. By the way, this Ibn Abbas is the cousin of Muhammad. He's the cousin of your prophet. Thanks for calling him an idiot. This is what he is writing. I showed it to you. This is what Kashani is writing. According to you, he is idiot. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for calling these guys idiots. Do you want to see another idiot? Check this out. This is idiot. This is the one who is saying that, not me. Who is saying that? Who is saying that? Abu Dahar. Who is saying that? He is relating it to your prophet. Who is saying that? Sahihul Bukhari wrote it down. So do not tell me what you do not understand or do not know. Don't run by what your scholars are saying. What is the hadith? Read it. The number is there in front of you. You are here just to text, not listen and watch. What hadith? It's already there. Your Mimi Hijab is talking about this hadith. I've been showing this hadith from the last 20 minutes. Rather, wow, a lot of long time. You reject everything. Yes, they reject even Sahih. They reject even their early scholars. Now he's calling his own scholars stupid idiots. Not stupid. He just called them idiots, not stupid. So, idiots. Perfect. I love that part. Farid, say it again. I love it. Say it again. Where does it say literal? I have shown you where does it says literal. There you go. Kashani. Until when he reached the setting of the sun, that is the setting of the sun of the spirit, he found it setting in a muddy spring, namely one that mixed with mud, which is the corporal matter, and a mixture of dark bodies, similar to where he says a drop of fluid. He found it on a folk, namely egocentric people, corporal and spiritual, and etc. etc. characterized by the mean of spiritual discipline. What is Ibn Abbas saying? Ibn Abbas saying, where the sun set, he found it setting in the muddy spring, a blackened mud stinking spring. It also said it means a hot spring. These people were disbelievers. Nobody said it's metaphorical. Nobody said it's metaphorical. After 500-600 years, when the science was okay, Quran. Okay, let's go to Quran. Let's go to Quran. Quran 1886. 1886. Show me the word metaphorical over here. Or show me the word as if over here. If you can show me the word as if in Arabic, I will agree with you. Or missile. Show me missile. Okay. Likeness. So show me the word missile. That Allah is giving an example. Farid, show me the word missile in the Arabic. If you can show me the word missile in Arabic, I will take your interpretation. If the word missile is not there, or any other word which can denote that this is a missile or an example or an as if, I will agree with you. If it does not, if it does not, then it does not. Show me the word. There you go. There you go. Come up. Show us the word. Come on up, Farid. We are waiting. Everyone is waiting. I want to see the word where it says as if. Pikhtal is writing, till when he reached the setting place of the sun. Balagal Maghrib Shams. He found it setting in the muddy spring and found a people thereabout. We said, O Dulkarnain, either punish them or show them kindness. Where is the word as if? We are waiting. Let me open my laptop. So you haven't even opened the laptop. What was you doing for the last 20 minutes? So this is even more problematic if we go to the rising place of the sun, because I like to combine both of them. Because then the problem is even problematic. Till when he reached the rising place of the sun, he found it rising on the people for whom we had not appointed any shelter. Allah did not even appoint any shelter for the people where the sun is rising. Dulkarnain is awesome, man. He is reaching the setting place of the sun, then he is reaching the rising place of the sun. And Allah is not even providing the shelter upon them. Beautiful. Okay, I think somebody is here. Hold on. Device not connected. Okay, he's gone. He came and he's gone. So first he reached the rising place of the sun, then he reached the setting place of the sun, and then these scholars has to go left, right, and center, left, right, and center to explain this. And Farid went away. Come on, Farid, don't let us wait for so long. I'm already done with my topic. I called you up so many times in the past when I was doing the topic. Man. Hmm. So, by the way, let's look at the rising place of the sun as well while Farid comes up, because this is very very problematic. Uh, oh no, I went into two mountain where the Hajuj and Majuj are. So if we look at Quran 1890, the tafsir of Quran 1890, there is another problem there. Hold on, 1890. There is a very very big problem over there as well, and that is why what I shown you as Zinj. You know Zinj, that yesterday I did the slavery video. That's where it says. So Farid is still not here, by the way. So in the meantime, let me show you this. So you know, when is the sun so hot? Who will tell me, is the sun hot when it is rising, or is the sun hot when it is right on top of us? Who's going to give me the answer? Is the sun hot when it is right on top of your head, or is the sun hot when it is rising? Guys, everyone on the chat, when is the sun hot? On the top. Michael, thank you so much. Now check this out. Tafsirul Jalalain, chapter number 18, verse number 90. Until when he reached the rising of the sun, rising of the sun, the place where it rises, he found it rising on folks, namely the N-word, Zinj, for whom we have not provided against the sun, any form of cover in the way of clothing or roofing, as their land could not support any structure. Okay, they had underground tunnels into which they would disappear at the rising of the sun, and out of which they would emerge when it is at the highest point of the sky. So they goes into underground tunnel because of the heat of the sun in the morning, in the rising place of the time. They would be underground. Why would they be underground when the sun is rising? If the sun is not rising right upon these folks, then the sun would not be hot enough at the rising time. Sun should be hot enough when it is on the top. But what is happening? They are in the underground tunnels when the sun is rising, when the sun is not even hot, and they come out of the tunnels when the sun is right on the top, on the head, on your head. So this shows that even the Jalalain, who's writing in the late 8th century, early 9th century, doesn't know jack. He's explaining the verse of the Quran as is, or what he has heard through narration after narration, which you call chain of narrations. That's the thing. You know, this is what is happening. And this Farid guy would come up for a debate. Man, I welcomed him. Where did he go? He's not even coming. So he ran away like a Momo, probably. All right, finally he's here. Farid, stop sharing my screen and stop your cam, and I'm adding you to stream. You can hear me. Okay, listen. If you are going to be at my stream, your voice will be like this. You cannot come like this. You have to stop my video and then come up live. Okay? Because if when I add you, it will be double voice and mic taking double mic. So you have to stop your video that you're watching and then come up. Man, these guys don't know the basic ABCDs. Come on, Steve Garam, oh, whatever. Farid, he now ran away. He closed. He went back. He went back. Okay, now he's back. All right, Farid. Finally, you are on the right spot. Can you hear me? Farid, mute the other side. Stop watching me.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Farid. Finally, you are on the right
You are watching my videos.
You are watching my videos. Hello, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Now I can. Okay. So what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
What's wrong with? Yeah, it's all metaphorical. I told you, right?
This is
So
metaphoric.
why you just pulling up again? I don't believe in my like oldest scholars.
Who gave you the authority to be the
Like,
scholar? Where did you
I
study?
mean, like maybe people like I don't believe in hadith too, like because it's also maybe corrupted. Who
Are you-
cares about that?
Okay. Who cares about it? Perfect. So there you go.
Because hadith was not like directly come from God. It's just like
Yeah, I
changed.
know.
People had changed
I know. Forget
So
it. Forget it. I know. I know
so-
all these basic
So
yadiyas.
listen to me.
So now go to
Listen.
this. Now go to this. Now go to this and show me where it says as if, or it's an example.
So I can show like a lot of things in the chapter.
I don't care what you
Revolution,
need
like
to show.
this.
You need to show me
I know.
here
I don't
where it
care.
is.
Just be honest. Just be honest. Like I can show you like this, like
Farid,
things,
Farid.
like a
First of
seven
all,
stars in the hands, like seven
Farid,
stars in
first
the
of
hands,
all,
like lots
Farid,
of
do you
things.
want me to kick
I
you?
can show like that.
Farid, do
So
you want me to kick you off, or do you
yeah,
want to stay on the
are
topic?
you scared? You say like, come
Do you
on,
want
like
to
you
stay
should, like,
on the topic or not, or do you want me to kick you off right now? You are here to explain me
staying on the
why
topic right
it
now. I'm
says what
staying
it
on the
says.
topic right now. Explain me.
Okay, show me.
I said it's a
Show
metaphorical.
me.
Show me in the Bible it's a metaphorical
Okay,
then.
show me.
Show me in the Bible it's a metaphorical
Show
then.
me in the Bible that the sun is setting in a muddy pool water.
Not so like
Okay, then.
okay, just
Perfect. So
explain like
we do not
about
have.
seven stars.
Yeah, so we do not have it. We do not have the same
You're
thing
not
over
being
there.
honest. You're
So
not being
now,
honest.
hey,
You're
listen,
hypocrite.
listen. Are you being honest right now?
Yes, I'm being honest.
Okay, then hold
I'm
on and
being
try.
fair.
Listen, try to understand my question and give the answer, and then we can go somewhere else. Now, try to understand what I'm
I'm
saying.
not going, so I'm not just staying on the topic.
Yeah, so, okay, then understand what I'm saying. You do not accept any of your tafsir writers. You do not accept your hadith writers. You do not accept anything, but you accept Quran. That's what you said, correct?
maybe the first hadith, right? It was like hadith was written after 600 years or 700 years, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe people could have changed it, but the person who says it, like, maybe it's they said it in the
Farid,
metaphorical, and but you people taking it like some
Farid,
like
hold on,
literal sense.
hold on. The problem is that all of the hadiths are written at least 250 years later, and then so on. I I can go with you on this part just for the sake of argument, so that you will not feel that I am enforcing you to accept hadith. Okay. Now, this is the Arabic. It says clearly that till he reached the setting place of the sun. Where is that place?
Where, like, in the Quran?
The Quran verse is in front of you. You can see the verse. You are in my live
I,
stream. I
I
know
don't
exactly
know.
what I can
I
see. You can
Okay.
see.
Yeah, I know. I can see it. Uh, I'm saying it. I will say like it's just a metaphorical. That's it. That's my answer.
How?
That's
Who
it.
gave you the authority to say it's metaphorical?
Why not? Why do
No,
you say in the Bible, in the Revelation, it's a metaphorical? Why I
my
can't
friend,
say it's a Quran
because
metaphorical?
all of my scholars say it's metaphorical, and that's why now your scholars are saying it's not metaphorical, whereas you come
I'm the
here and
scholar.
you are
I'm the
saying,
scholar for my
okay,
own. Okay.
which scholar
I
are you?
don't care about anyone.
Where,
I
hey,
don't
listen,
care
listen.
about anyone.
Then
Okay.
you have nothing to say over here,
You
because
can't.
if
You
all of your
talking with me
scholars,
right now. It's just
if
between
your
you and
scholars,
me.
if your
Don't pull
no,
my card. Like, don't pull. I don't even know who are they. I don't care about them. Okay.
okay, then
I just
this verse is saying that he reached the setting place of the sun, and sun is setting in the muddy pool water. I'm accepting it as is. Now, how can you refute me?
what?
Give me the evidence. What do you mean by, what does your word has to say with me
Oh
word?
my God! You're not
Give
being
me the
honest.
evidence.
You're like so being
Give me the
hypocrite.
evidence.
I say the evidence is a metaphorical. That's it. That's my answer.
Okay, that's an answer. Okay,
Wait,
what is
wait,
this
wait, wait,
one
wait,
then?
wait, wait,
Wait,
wait,
wait,
wait.
wait, wait,
What?
wait,
What?
wait,
Wait,
wait, wait,
wait, wait, wait,
wait,
wait,
wait, wait.
wait, wait,
What is this? What is this?
wait, wait,
What
wait,
is this?
wait, wait, wait.
What is this? What is
Let me
this?
show you in the Bible. Let me
What
show you
is
in the.
this?
I can show like a bunch
See,
of this
hey,
say
hey, Farid,
was
what is
used to
this?
say.
Farid, what is this?
What's what? What's what?
Read it. Read the verse.
Till then he reached the rising place or sun, he found rising people from who, like, it's a metaphorical simple answer. That's it.
Hey, so what about the shield?
Okay, show me in the Bible. It's where is
Hey,
metaphorical.
what should I do about the shield?
What?
What should I do about the shield of Allah that He did not create it among the people on top of those people?
It's metaphorical.
So the shelter is also metaphorical.
Yeah.
Okay, you liar, deceptive person, get lost. Idiot. It's also metaphorical. All of his scholars are saying something else. All the early scholars are saying something else. He denied the ahadith. Without the ahadith, he can't even recite anything. He can't even offer prayer. And this is the kind of an idiot liars, because their hadiths say that you can lie. They are liars because they can lie. He cannot run away from ahadith. He can't even offer prayer. He can't even do wudu without the hadith. And he lied that he doesn't accept any of the hadith. That is a blank lie when they say all this. And I told him, show me the Bible where it says the sun sets in muddy water. Bible. Revelation, it's a book. It's a book which is talking about revelation, the end times. Where is the end time over here, you idiot? You want to call everyone idiot? And they come up for refutation. It's a metaphorical. Where is it? It's metaphorical. It's a metaphorical. I said so. I am the scholar. Where did you study it from? Which scholar are you from? I am telling you, your Sheikh al-Islam, so-called Mimi Hijab, whose video I played, and I showed you that Islam Web, actually their scholars refuted him as well. So you guys have evolution in tafsir, which is coming all the way from the 8th century till the 20th century, and you have evolution. What is said in 2014, you guys now, the 2020, Mimi Hijab is actually rejecting that. What is said in 2014, he's rejecting it. He is bringing something different than what your scholars are saying. So you have evolution in tafasirs. You have evolution in ahadith. You have evolution in all and everywhere. Why? Metaphorical. Metaphorical. Liars. You come up, I don't accept these. I don't accept the tafsir. Without tafsir, you can't even know anything. Quran is like 40% duplication. There's duplication after duplication in Quran. And then Quran says one thing here, one thing there. They don't even concise. I've shown multiple videos on that. Metaphorical. Anyhow, these are the ones. That's the problem. Because of these kind of scholars, not this kind of, this is not even a scholar. He's like a junk that nobody accepts and understands, accepts anyways. Metaphorical. He called all of his scholars idiots who spent their lives trying to do the tafsir. They are all idiots, per him, not me. All right, guys. I think that was enough. I thought he would be able to give me some scholar to refute these people, and we would have some kind of a discussion. Oh, I said so. Who are you? If I want to make my own tafsir of the Quran, I won't even show these things. I will use the word to word translation of each and every word, and I will show you how demonic this Quran is. But I can't do that, because if I do that, then I will not be able to show the deception. I'm showing the deception from your own scholars. What you guys have been believing all your life. Metaphorical. Because I say so. New scholars. All right, guys. I think that's the end of it. So let me see what is happening. Anything else over here? Anybody else? Okay, no. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for watching. Have fun. This is real Quran. This is real tafsir. This is real people. This is all real, and this is the deception of Allah. Wallahu khairul makarin. He is the best of all deceivers. That's what he said. And so spread the word. Like I said before, anybody, because like I do not go by my own translations. I do not show any da'i for these. I do not show it. You guys aware of it. I do not show any da'i for these. I do not say my own. I show exactly what's written in the tafsir, and I challenge to prove me wrong. You know why they cannot prove me wrong? Because if they prove me wrong, all of their scholars are wrong. And that is why most of them do not come up. Because when they prove me wrong, they prove all of their scholars wrong, which means their scholars didn't know jack. So have fun, guys. Have a blessed day, evening, or night, wherever you are. May the Lord Jesus bless you and keep you guys safe. In Jesus' name I ask. Hallelujah. Yeshua Akbarul Azim. God bless you.